The three causes leading millennials and Gen Z to struggle financially are their friends, other people's perceptions of them, and student loans. I'm going to get into all three so that you understand how they're affecting your finances. Welcome to Finish First Financially, a channel dedicated to helping millennials and Gen Z to get out of debt and build savings. I'm Goran Radanovic. Think about how much money you've spent going out with your friends. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have friends and you shouldn't have fun. You should. The problem comes in is when those expenses become too exorbitant. And even worse is when you start financing them. It's like you feel the need to keep up with a certain person to remain friends with them. They invite you to an expensive dinner, so you put it on your credit card. They ask you to go travel with them, and you may even take out a personal loan to finance it. It just becomes too much financially, and you get into this financial downward spiral that just keeps getting worse the longer you stay friends with this person. It's like you feel a pressure to finance all of these excursions in order to have their friendship. It's like you're buying into the friendship. And that's not something that you want to do. You should never get into debt to be friends with somebody. You need to take a step back and tell this person that some excursions you're not going to join them, and you like them, you want to be friends with them, but it's taking a big toll on you financially. And you can suggest a cheaper alternative, hanging out by the pool, watching Netflix with them. A true friend is going to understand and they're going to support you. Somebody who doesn't understand it is not your true friend, and you don't need anybody who's dragging you down financially. Other people's perceptions of you are what people think of you. And we all care to a certain extent, otherwise we'd be walking around naked in public. But the problem with many people who are struggling financially is that they care too much about what others think of them. They actually obsess about it. They're concerned about portraying a certain image. They want to impress others by getting a specific car, living in a certain neighborhood, buying a certain phone, just so that they can seem successful. And when they can't finance these things with cash, they do it by taking out loans. What happens is when you're so concerned about what other people think of you, is that it serves as motivation for all of your purchases. You're constantly thinking, what is it that others expect me to have? So let me go get that so that I can live up to their expectations. And essentially what you're doing is you're living your life for other people. And I've got news for you. The only life that you should be living is yours. Stop being concerned about what others think of you and worry more about what you will think of yourself, or getting yourself into a financial mess. Think about how good it will feel to not have any debt and to have financial freedom. And once you start thinking like that, you'll stop making these ridiculous purchases to impress others, and you'll be more concerned about impressing yourself. And you'll do that once you put yourself on the path to financial freedom. Student loans. Now, I financed some of my studies while my father financed most of the bill. So I was very fortunate to graduate without any debt. Now, that might not be the case for you, and you already might have student loans, and you're wondering, well, how's that applicable to me? Well, the first thing is that you should stop taking out more student loans if you already have. And if you don't take out any more student loans, then you can help your younger siblings to maybe structure their life better so that they don't graduate with debts, and your children structure their life. Now, as opposed to graduating with debt, an option that you could consider is, after graduating high school, take a year or two off to work full-time. Get a job while you're still living with your parents so that you don't have to pay rent, with the aim of saving up as much money as possible for varsity studies. And then once you're at varsity, you can have a weekend job so that you have an ongoing income. Don't think that just because you've taken those 2 years to work, that somehow you're setting yourself back. Your peers have now got 2 years of studies over you, so now you're concerned that you're falling behind. What's the worst possible situation that you can put yourself in after you graduate is to have debt, to come out of university and already you've got student loans. Now you want to get your own place, you have to pay rent, you have to pay all these things to survive, and on top of that, you've got debt. That is one of the worst situations that you can be in. So rather take that time to save up the money. I'm completely against taking out any debt, especially student loans, because they just somehow completely get out of hand. So put yourself in the best financial situation possible by having the cash, and you can have a significant amount of money by working 2, maybe even 3 years before you start studying. But then once you graduate, you don't have to worry about any debt. You will be ahead of your peers who decided to go ahead and get student loans. Now, if you need any more help, you're welcome to come onto the show. You can email me at finishfirstfinancially@gmail.com. All of the information will be in the description below. Let's get you onto the show so that I can help you reduce your expenses and get you to pay off your debt so that you can eventually work towards having significant savings.